Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of Popcorn Rants, and today I'm going to be giving you my feedback slash recap slash theories on Game of Thrones Season 6. So needless to say, this video is full of spoilers for Season 6 of Game of Thrones. So if you haven't seen Season 6, do not watch this video, okay? Go and watch Season 6 and then you can watch this video. You have been warned. Now Game of Thrones Season 6 is a little unique. The first time the TV series is actually going past the book. The biggest question in everybody's mind was, is Jon Snow alive or is he going to be brought back to life? Kit Harington was saying that he's only going to come back to Season 6 as a corpse. So basically Kit Harington appeared in all those talk TV shows and he lied to all of us. But it's okay, kid. You lied for a good reason. In episode 1, The Red Woman, it starts off where season 5 ended. Jon Snow is still dead. So the wildlings came back with their huge giant, and basically the allies of Jon Snow managed to gain control of the wall again. So Cersei and Jaime Lannister are still upset about the death of Marcella from season 5. She was poisoned. Arya is still blind and she's begging on the side of the street. She's then attacked. She doesn't really know how to master fighting with a stick while blind, so she kind of gets beaten up pretty badly. Melisandre's choker that has that ruby on it is sort of like a charm necklace because it makes her appear young, and Melisandre is actually very, very old. So there was an episode where she was hitting on Jon Snow, she's trying to get jiggy with him, and Jon Snow was like, no, she's kind of hot, why not, right? So Jon Snow knows, okay, good call, Jon. However, in season 4, episode 7, here, you can check it out here, she's actually in a hot tub without the choker and she still appears young. Is there an explanation for this, or is it just a mistake? I personally think that it's probably a mistake, but maybe there's some kind of weird explanation that I'm not aware of. If you know something that I don't, leave a message in the comments, alright? Episode 2 is my second favorite episode of the season. It's called Home. But besides the whole Jon Snow thing, what's interesting is actually Bran's storyline. So he is warging into the past now. He sees Hodor when he was still young. His name was Willis. He sees his father, Ned, his uncle Benjen, and his aunt Lyanna when they are still children. But yeah, the big thing this episode is Jon Snow coming back to life. And you can check out my reaction here, okay? So I sort of suspected that it was going to happen in the first 4 episodes. I had my camera phone on standby. Episode 3 is Oathbreaker. So Jon has come back to life and obviously upset because he was murdered by his fellow Nightwatch brothers. Now Bran has gone from not appearing at all in season 5 to like one of the more interesting storylines in season 6. So we flash back to the Tower of Joy. Bran is observing his father Ned going to look for his sister Lyanna, and he calls out to his father at one point, and it seems like Ned could hear him. At that point, he's not quite sure whether when he wargs, is he able to actually interact with people. Rickon Stark appears after being missing for a while. He's now a prisoner of Ramsay Bolton. Theon Greyjoy goes back to the Iron Islands. Jon Snow had to do the very difficult thing of executing the people that murdered him, and he was very torn up about it, especially the fact that he had to kill Ollie. So after all of that, he was like, I've had it with this Night's Watch stuff. You can take your cloak and I am done. My watch is over. Episode 4, The Book of the Stranger. Now the Stark children always seem to sort of miss each other, and I thought it was going to be the case again. Sansa was probably just going to miss Jon, but I was wrong. Sansa and Jon meet immediately at the beginning of the episode, and I was like, wow, season 6 is different. It seems like besides getting answers to questions, storylines are also starting to merge now. Brienne has this hilarious sort of like thing with Tormund. So Tormund is like looking at her and giving her a strange look while he's eating. Well, a lot of girls were like, I wish a guy would look at me like how Tormund looks at Brienne. If they were to get together, it would be such an odd couple. So odd, I kind of want it to happen. So yeah, let's hope for the romance to blossom in season 7. This episode also ends with Khaleesi killing all the Khals. She comes out from this huge fire, is how she killed them. And Emilia Clarke actually said that she didn't want to use a body double. It was not important that she didn't have any clothes on because that scene was just so powerful. It was just so epic. The fact that she was naked wasn't really that important. Episode 5 is my third favorite episode. It's called The Door. Littlefinger and Sansa sort of have like a face-off. Sansa is sort of calling him out on his bullshit and the stuff that he's done to her. Theon and his sister Asha have to flee the Iron Islands because their uncle is taken over. Arya has been given a task to assassinate an actress, but she's sort of like having second thoughts as to whether she wants to go through with with it or not. And Bran sort of messes things up because he wargs without the three-eyed raven. The Night King knows that he's there, grabs his arm and marks him. So now they know where he is. And it's just a matter of time before the White Walkers find them. Hodor had to sacrifice himself by holding the door. And because Bran was warged into the past, it sort of caused some time-traveling brain damage. Hold the door, hold the door, hold the door. And the little kid that played the younger version of Hodor, who was really good. A lot of people were sad, oh no, Hodor died. A lot of us were wondering, why does he always say Hodor? So now we finally know. The worst thing about this episode, though, is the day after that, a whole bunch of people who never followed Game of Thrones were in an elevator and people were just shouting at them, Hodor, Hodor! And they're probably wondering like, what the hell is going on? Why is everybody suddenly telling me Hodor? And Game of Thrones actually gets translated to several different languages. Can't translate it to another language, and I found this particularly funny. Like, yeah, and at the end it's just like Hodor. Episode 6, Blood of My Blood. So Bran Stark and Amira, they're being chased by White Walkers, and Bran is still sort of warging and he's seeing all these images. First time we actually get to see the Mad King. Mira and Bran get rescued by Benjen Stark. Finally, Arya has decided that she's not going to go ahead with the assassination. She doesn't want to be a girl with no name anymore, mainly because it's very frustrating when you go to Starbucks and they ask your name and you're like, a girl has no name. So the barista is usually looking at you like, I'm gonna need a name. Girl has no name. Okay, I'm just gonna write girl, alright? So, you know, Arya has had it with that. She's like, no, I want to go to Starbucks and tell them that my name is Arya, alright? Khaleesi is traveling back to Meereen with the Dothraki horde. She gets back her dragon and she's sort of like in Dota. You go back to home base and then now your HP and mana are full. You've got all the items that you need and you're ready to go back out there to kick some ass. Episode 7, The Broken Man. Guess who's back? Back again. Yeah, that's right, it's the Hound. So apparently he's not dead. He's working with a couple of villages. They're building a sept. And there's a lot of exposition dialogue explaining where he's actually been. And I've always found exposition dialogues very interesting because have you ever been with a friend and your friend just starts narrating like everything that's actually happened to you guys? Like, oh, remember when we met? You know, you said this and I did this and I thought this and you said this. One of my friends suddenly said that to me. I'd be like, why are you telling me all of this? I know all of this already. Though I understand why it needs to happen in TV shows and movies, it is kind of funny when you think about it because nobody actually talks like that. And we all know it's not going to turn out well because he's not destined for a happy ending. We get to Bear Island and Lady Mormont, 5 minutes of screen time, and she's like everybody's favorite character. She's so cute and she's so ferocious. We definitely want to see more of her in season 7. Theon and Asha, after leaving the Iron Islands, have decided that they are going to make a pact with the Dragon Queen. Sansa sort of realizes that Jon is not going to be able to beat Ramsay Bolton, sort of like planning something by herself. Arya then gets stabbed because she refuses to carry out her mission, but more of that in the next episode. Episode 8 is No One. So Arya looks for help from the actress who she did not kill. The Hound kills everybody. If the Terminator was an actual dude with an axe, that's what he would be like. Varys goes off on a secret mission and we'll find out what that is in episode 10. Cersei has a face-off with the Sparrows and the Sparrows do not come out on top. Brienne is trying to get the Blackfish to come back and fight for Jon. Jaime Lannister manages to get Riverrun back through negotiation. The Hound joins the Brotherhood of the Flame. Arya goes through this very long chase sequence where she's actually being hunted, but she lures her attacker into a dark chamber, and just as the door closes, she cuts the light out. So because she was blind at one point, she's sort of become a little bit like Daredevil. Like she's got like echolocation. She can see things in the dark. She doesn't need light. And that gives her the added advantage. Right at the end of the episode, she's like, I am not a girl with no name. I am Arya Stark of Winterfell, and I'm going home. Episode 9, my most favorite episode, and probably everybody else's favorite episode as well, Battle of the Bastards. The other sort of battle that's happening is in Meereen. So having a dragon is like having a better Apache attack helicopter. Small little sailboats made out of wood is not going to fare well against dragons. But the big story here is obviously the Battle of the Bastards. Ramsay versus Jon. They both try to get into each other's head. Sansa doesn't quite trust Jon. She sort of knows that Jon is going to get all emotional and he's going to fall into Ramsay's trap. This is why I like Ramsay Bolton. Like, I love to hate him. He's such a good bad guy. TV shows are only as good as their bad guys, and Ramsay Bolton is a pretty decent one, especially after Joffrey died. So Ramsay Bolton takes Rickon and says, go and run to your brother. Playing Jon, and he's playing Rickon. Rickon is not going to make it, all right? The other thing about Rickon also is that he doesn't know how to run in zigzag patterns. Somebody's shooting arrows at you, right? You know, just Make it a little difficult for them. Don't just like run in a straight line. Dies right before John could get him. John gets all emotional, rushes, and everybody has to rush, and you know that it's not gonna go down well because Ramsay has already seen all of this coming. And this is sequence in the battle where they surround them with shields. I found that very strange because let's say, for example, I see a whole bunch of people marching with shields trying to surround me, right? I would not let them surround me. Of course, I've never actually been in a medieval battle, so maybe that's a little more difficult said than done. Okay, let's let them surround us, and then we'll see what we're gonna do after that. It's as though John and friends were not gonna make it out of there, but I was sort of thinking back to the whole Brienne thing. That can't just end like that. It can't just be Tommen and Brienne had that weird look and the story ends. Can't just be like Jon Snow came back to life and the story ends. No, they've definitely got to make it out of this. I'm just not quite sure how. But then Sansa, knowing that this was going to happen, and she's like, I can't trust you to do anything, Jon. She comes with Littlefinger and the Knights of the Vale. The giant unfortunately dies. He's sort of like a tank. He took so much damage, but Ramsay finally killed him. Jon Snow then beats Ramsay up, and Sansa Stark feeds Ramsay to the dogs. Might be killing off too many bad guys too fast. Ramsay Bolton, I would have liked to see him one more season. Episode 10, The Winds of Winter. This is probably my fourth favorite episode. Battle of the Bastards has just completed. Everybody has pledged their allegiance to Jon Snow, King of the North. Cersei Lannister carefully orchestrated a terrorist explosion in the place that she was supposed to stand trial. King Tommen, being the soft king that he is, was unable to take all of this, so he just commits suicide. This is sort of broken Cersei. So Cersei, she's lost all her children now. She's had enough of this. She is now going to take over the Iron Throne. Arya Stark finally gets revenge for her brother Robb. She kills Walder Frey, but not before feeding him 2 of his sons. So he's like, you know, where are my sons? Here, your sons are here, in the pie, you've eaten them. And then she goes all like Mission Impossible, like it's like, oh, is that Tom Cruise? Oh no, it's not, it's Arya Stark. So yeah, she kills Walder Frey. So the big reveal in this episode is R plus L equals J. So Jon Snow's parents are Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark, and Ned had to pretend that Jon was his son because he was trying to protect him from Robert Baratheon. Robert Baratheon promised to kill all Targaryens, including Jon Snow, aka Jon Targaryen. Dorne and House Tyrell are going to form an alliance to go against the Lannisters in the capital. Varys also gets in on this alliance, so I assume Khaleesi is going to be in it as well. And Khaleesi sailing over the narrow sea with all her ships and all her armies and her dragons, and Varys is there as well. Wow, he went from Dorne back over to Meereen and sailing back over to Westeros. So I actually have some crazy fan theories as to where the story is going. The Mad King went mad because he heard whispers. Maybe the whispers is from Bran Stark. Purposely made the Mad King mad because he needed the Targaryens to be exiled from Westeros. Daenerys can come back with her dragons and defeat the White Walkers. Possibly there was an alternate timeline where the White Walkers have overtaken Westeros. My other theory is that Daenerys is also going to become mad. Possibly then Jon Snow will be the one that's going to be able to control the dragons. Could be the dragons versus the White Walkers. It could also be a song about Jon Snow, you know, who's half Targaryen and half Stark. So he could be the Song of Ice and Fire. So those are my crazy fan theories. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I want to know, right? So if you like this long ramble slash recap slash commentary, please hit like. So I'll be back again with a video very soon. I will see you guys again later. Ciao. Network, couple more maybe. I kind of want to see some Green Lantern. Yeah, give me some Green Lantern and I will be a happy camper, right? So I'm guessing no more female Starbuck and female Boomer. And I'm guessing probably no sexy deadly Cylons like Trisha Helfer.